Hi, welcome everyone. Come on in and sit down, have a seat. Join me for a session. I'm going to be talking about how you can tap into the Microsoft Intelligent Security Graph using a new security API for Microsoft Graph. Come on in and have a seat. Take a load off. I see you guys in the back. You can come on in. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So my name is Sarah Fender, and I lead product management for the security API. And we'll go ahead and just jump right in. First, let's talk a little bit about the Intelligent Security Graph. What is this thing? Maybe you've heard of it, that we keep talking about at Microsoft. It's an incredibly important part of our security strategy. The Intelligent Security Graph is a platform that powers security for Microsoft products and services. And the new security API extends that capability to our partners, enables them to connect to and to extend the graph. So the graph is comprised of millions of unique insights that we have here at Microsoft. We have a vast perspective and insight into the threat landscape. We process over 400 billion emails every day. 1.2 billion devices are being scanned. We manage security for over 200 cloud services, both enterprise and consumer. We just have a ton of insight into the threat landscape, and we use that intelligence and apply advanced analytics to help our customers to be more secure. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about how the Intelligent Security Graph works. First, at its foundation is a vast amount of global threat intelligence. We talked about the aperture, the line of sight that we have here at Microsoft. We collect millions of threat indicators from our own products and services, and we also subscribe to third-party threat intelligence feeds. So we have access to a lot of intelligence. And we put those into a central clearinghouse and make them accessible to our products and services. So we're processing billions of requests for matches against this threat intelligence clearinghouse that we have. We have data scientists and analysts who are developing some very sophisticated machine learning and artificial intelligence models that take all of the signal data that we have about users and hosts and devices and networks. We process all of that using these advanced analytics techniques to help detect threats. We alert on those in our various products and services and provide information so that you can take action to respond to them. And kind of the third and most important aspect of this approach to security is really the ability to connect these insights across services to provide better security for our customers. What we announced today and we'll be talking a bit about in this session is how we've enabled our customers and partners to tap into these same insights as well via a new security API. But before we talk about the API in particular, let's spend just a few minutes talking through some of the challenges that we hear from customers that we hope that the security API will help to address. The first of those is really around disconnected alerts. So most customers are using many security solutions, dozens in most cases. Each of those is alerting on malicious activity that it detects. And it's doing so in a distinct schema. So it's really hard to integrate those solutions to be able to correlate alerts from all of these various solutions. Every time you go to deploy a new security solution, you've got yet another integration to deal with, a new integration challenge to solve. Second is that when investigating threats, context and additional insight about your users and hosts and devices is incredibly valuable. It can help you to do a better job of detecting threats, but also triaging, investigating, and responding to those. And much of this type of context lives outside of your security solutions. It may live outside of your SIEM, for example. So being able to get ready access to that information when investigating threats can be very valuable, but today is very challenging and often a manual process. And then finally, a challenge that a number of our customers face is around just the operational complexity. So responding to a threat often requires interacting with multiple security solutions, enforcing policies, or taking action to mitigate threats. Many of those are not managed by the security operations centers, right? They're managed by IT departments or others within the organization. And the SOC analyst may not even have access to that data or the ability to take action directly. So it really adds a lot of complexity to what is already a very hard job of responding and investigating threats. So the security API is really designed to help with those challenges. It provides a unified gateway for connecting to security insights, not only from Microsoft's suite of security products and services, but those from our ecosystem partners as well. So we talked about the challenges around alerts, and here the security API can really help. It provides a unified interface for alert consumption and management. So users can more easily correlate alerts across security solutions via this common schema. A developer can write code once and instantly integrate alerts from all of the security API-enabled solutions. And they can also keep alert status and assignments in sync across these different systems. It also helps to more easily unlock that security context, which can, again, provide valuable insight, be used for investigation, and it enables that by providing easy access to not only alerts, but those entities related to alerts. So things like users, hosts, IP addresses. It enables them to drill down, to really dig deep into security profiles for those entities across all of these various solutions. And it also enables them to tap into other organizational context that's available in the Microsoft Graph. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And finally, it helps to address some of those operational challenges. It helps them to automate security operations for greater efficiency. So organizations can build and execute runbooks, they can automate security policy checks, they can orchestrate remediation and response across multiple security solutions in a unified way through a unified API. So a couple of things about what it is and what it is not. So the security API is a unified REST API. It provides a uniform schema. It is part of the Microsoft Graph, and we'll see how all of those pieces fit together in a moment. And it provides a gateway not only to Microsoft, but also to partner security services. And it's included with your services at no additional cost. It is not a log collector. It does not aggregate logs or data for you. It's not a threat intel feed or sharing platform. It's not a dashboard. It doesn't have a user experience, and it's not a SIM. So we're not looking to replace any of these things in this category here, but really to help more effectively connect the security solutions that you have in place today. So here's kind of how that works. So the security API is an extension of Microsoft Graph. And if you're not familiar with Microsoft Graph, it's kind of the primary programmatic interface that Microsoft provides access to services like Office data from services like Office 365, Intune, Active Directory, and many other entities. So what we've done is really extended that by enabling or lighting up some new security-specific entities, primarily or specifically alerts, security profiles, actions, and configurations. And so it exposes those for a wide range of Microsoft security solutions and enables partners to also contribute to the graph as a kind of as a first-party entity, right, along with our other Microsoft products and services. The graph itself makes it easy to understand the relationships between these entities. It makes it easy for apps to authenticate into these systems. And it provides a variety of resources to help developers get started, code samples and SDKs and documentation and that sort of thing. So we're working with a number of integration partners who are leveraging the security APIs. Just some information of the types of partners that we're working with. First, our managed security service providers. You can see PwC just as an example of one of those that we're working with. And they're leveraging the graph to streamline integration with internal security operations tools and services that they're using. This enables them to enhance the value that they provide to their customers and also reduces the integration and maintenance work across these various systems. Organizations often rely on security information and event management systems, a variety of IT management, incident tracking systems. And we're working with those partners to provide a single integration point to get alerts from all of these various sources, and to do so again in that common schema, so they can much more easily maintain those integrations and correlate data within their systems. In addition to the REST API, we also provide a mechanism that enables customers to stream events to the SIEM solutions as well. This is via integration with Azure Monitor. So instead of calling the REST API to get new alerts, this would provide a consistent stream of alerts into the SIEM solution, and it would do so across all of these security solutions in a common schema. So basically, you're setting up one integration point to stream these alerts, and you're getting alerts from various solutions through that pipe in a common schema. So greatly simplifies integration. Also working with independent software vendors like Anomaly and Palo Alto Networks. On two different fronts. One, to expose alerts and inventory and other information and actions through the graph. So again, they can sort of provide alerts into the graph and to expose those to other applications that have integrated with the security API. And then they can also consume data and alerts from the graph and integrate them in their own security solutions. So they can, Anomaly, for example, is querying the security API to get a list of all of the security alerts for a particular customer in that common schema, so that they can correlate it with threat intelligence that lives within their system. Palo Alto Networks we're working with on a proof of concept where they're able to take those alerts and enrich them with information from their own threat intelligence, the Panorama or autofocus solution, or Panorama for firewall logs. So they're able to enrich those alerts with additional data, and they can share that enrichment back through the graph. So any entity that subscribes to the security API gets access to those insights. So not only is that available to the Palo Alto Network solutions, but other solutions that integrate with the graphs. The ability to really share these insights across. So some example applications. What can you actually do with this thing? I gave a couple of examples for Anomaly and Palo Alto a moment ago. But we're working with a number of customers who've built their own custom Security Operations Center dashboards and tools. And they can leverage the security API both to get that stream of alerts in a common schema, to pull in that additional contextual information that they can use for investigation, and to take action. I mentioned ticketing and other security operations, other tools that security operations centers may use, and certainly there's a great opportunity to integrate into those applications. Threat protection solutions, again, can consume that information to enrich their own offerings that they deliver to customers. And we're hearing some interesting ideas about how to leverage these security insights in non-security applications. So there's lots of things, HR applications, finance applications, where these security insights could add value, even though that particular application's maybe primary focus isn't to deliver security value. So lots and lots of potential that we see with the security API. And just to get under the hood a little bit here, we'll take a look at just one example security workflow and how the security API can add value at different phases here. So first, a simple API call can be used to get alerts from the security graph. And here we see an alert that an account, Jane Doe's account, was targeted by an attacker via email. Then we can use the query the Microsoft Graph to get additional business context. So who is this Jane Doe? And so we could query for additional information about her user principal name, and we can get back information like what department is she in. Here we see corporate finance. That might be used to educate the security analysts. She may be a high-value target here given her role. We can also find out what machines does Jane Doe have access to. And so we can say, hey, what devices are registered to this Jane Doe account? What applications is she running? So you get all of this additional context that you can use. And so once we know a little bit more about that context, we can take action. So we may want to restrict access from Jane Doe's account to various cloud applications. So we can make an API call to ask, let's say, the cloud application security solution to block her access. So the security API really enables both customers and partners to tap into and to share security insights with other Microsoft and partner security solutions, really to enable everyone to deliver better protection for our mutual customers. There's lots of resources that are available to help you get started with the security API, documentation, code samples. You can explore the security API via the Microsoft Graph Explorer. Community resources are available as well. So I think I've got just a few minutes. I could take a question or two if anyone has one. Any questions? So we are at the security, Intelligent Security Graph kiosk. It's just around the corner here. And so I'd encourage you to stop by. We can show you a demo of the API. We've also got access to demo the Anomaly and Palo Alto Networks applications. You want to see in a hands-on way how they've integrated with the security API and are using those insights in their own products and services. Maybe give you some ideas of what you might be able to do within your own. So I encourage you to stop by for a demo in the booth. Thank you.